Right now at 6, a KGW weather impact alert as the region gets its first run of extreme heat this year.
Is it hot today? And when you get wet, it's even better.
Plus, too cool for a parent at the pool.
I'm old enough because I know how to swim and I'm a teenager.
Why Oregon is taking a second look at who can swim solo and for some causing confusion. Then,
and the challenge is no one's doing anything.
Stuck in the middle of the courts and the hospitals, the warning from Oregon prosecutors as the mental health system struggles to keep up.
And why the Trailblazers search for a permanent head coach.
We need a coach that's got all the pieces for a championship run.
Apparently just got more complicated. Well, first at 6, relief in the forecast with a KGW weather impact alert in effect as people in the Portland metro and beyond swelter, and for the second day straight. Thanks for being with us. Here's to hoping you're staying cool and safe like those kids on this Monday. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pittawanich. You're looking at sky cams across the region, downtown Portland, the coast, the gorge. We are keeping an eye on the heat and, of course, the wildfire danger.
Chief Meteorologist Matt Savino tracking it all. Matt, first things first, did we break some records here?
We did. Second day in a row, Portland hit 90. Well, second day in a row, we broke the record. Today, we hit 97. Hey, we're down to 92 already. We already dropped 5 degrees from the peak heat of the afternoon, which is great. Now, yesterday we broke the record of 89 by making it up to 94 on Sunday. We knew that one was going to fall, and we were quite confident today's record would be broken as well. We broke it by 2 degrees, but that record has stood for 60 years. Go back to 1966. And tomorrow's record is 95. That one's safe because we're going to top out a very comfortable 82 tomorrow. So a big, big difference between today and tomorrow on the way. There are the numbers around town: 97 Vancouver and Portland. Down in Medford, they hit 101. Wow, 98 in the Dalles with the coast comfortably in the 70s. Some places already down to the 60s. And that cooler coastal air will begin to make inroads into the valleys later on tonight. But the extreme heat warning continues till midnight tonight. And the heat advisory also continues till midnight tonight. Then we're done. There is a red flag warning for dangerous fire weather conditions in eastern Oregon. Not for right now, it's for tomorrow because it's going to get really windy over there as the west side cools off and the east side stays very warm, and that's the case throughout western Oregon. So a very warm night tonight, although we will drop to the low 60s. It's not going to stay warm, but the evening hours, it's still in the 90s, and then only in the 80s tomorrow. And while there's no rain in the forecast, there's also no extreme heat after right now. Guys?
Okay, I appreciate you keeping us updated. Thanks, Matt.
It's extremely hot for anybody to be outside by this time. This is our little way of saying we care.
Dozens of cooling spaces remain open for folks looking for some respite, including this one we visited at DeRose Community Bridge in Northeast Portland. Some other options: the Multnomah County East building in Gresham is open until 9 tonight, along with Bud Clark Commons in Northwest Portland. 4 Multnomah County libraries will stay up until 8. The Albina Central, East County, and Midland libraries. In Vancouver, Living Home Church is available till 7, United Methodist till 8. If you did not hear an option that works for you, there are more out there. You can call 211 for more resources.
And we also checked in with Meals on Wheels people in Multnomah County.
At the Belmont Senior Center, volunteers serve breakfast and lunch to older adults. They tell us those are the people who often have trouble getting to or even asking for help. So when extreme weather moves in, it really is a community effort to make sure everyone is supported. And some folks are just there for fun.
But I do come for the socialization. Yeah, I for the most part, I could feed myself, but I'll eat the meal when it's good, and I like the people.
Keep everyone feeling good, right? Meals on Wheels people will be working throughout the summer to help some of our most vulnerable neighbors.
And if you were wondering, fire season now officially underway across all of Oregon and Southwest Washington. The Oregon Department of Forestry put out the declaration today for Oregon with details about restrictions that may or may not be in place where you live. They could include the obvious things like campfire or debris burning bans, but it really depends on where you are. ODF is reminding people to dispose of cigarettes or fireworks properly. Also, don't park or idle over dry grass. You can check local restrictions online.
You do not want to be that guy that starts a fire, right? The extreme heat not only increases the risk, it also makes conditions much more difficult for the people who fight them.
Yeah, photojournalist Ken McCormick takes us to one fire that broke out in Southwest Portland.
in Oregon, we're just not used to the little warmer temperatures elsewhere it gets acclimated to. So when you add our turnouts in addition to a warmer day, it's a little bit overwhelming. You just feel like you're starting to feel a little bit of that hot on the outside, also inside. The fire still goes crazy at times, just like without it. Also, we still have the mission to do regardless of hot or not. Got to get in there and take care of business.
It's certainly another layer of clothing, right? They are designed to breathe a little bit, but it's quite honestly, it is really like throwing on your ski outfit right now and running around outside. So getting on all of your winter clothes and then doing work. It's hot. It's nicer to have them off. It's easier to work with them off. It's mandatory we have them on when we're dealing with it. So if you're dealing with clothing that can tolerate that much heat, it's going to keep your heat in a little bit. Even though it's got that moisture wicking layer that's designed to evaporate and draw the water out, it's legitimately still hot and miserable on the inside of that.
It may hurt a little bit while we're in it, but afterwards you think it's quite a party, and in the end you're very thankful when it goes well.
In all honesty, when you're putting your coat on and you know you got a job, while you know you're going to get hot, you know it's going to be exciting, and it's what we do. We respond to make a difference, and we do so with our turnouts.
Sir Ken McCormick in Southwest Portland there. Stay with KGW throughout this heat wave with your latest forecast available anytime at kgw.com and on the KGW mobile app.
Well, this heat has a lot of people thinking about ways to stay cool, right? Well, Portland Public Pools set to open in 3 days, but still a lot of confusion out there about the rules and who needs a chaperone.
There's always a rules when it comes to a pool, right? Libby Dowsett's live at the Selwood Pool. Libby, I've read this through a few times. It's easy to see why some families might be feeling less than crystal clear here.
Yeah, I feel the pain. I read through it many, many times. Now, Portland pools are set to open on Thursday, and there's a lot of confusion about what age kids can come here on their own and what ages need to bring an adult with them. And we checked in with Portland Public Pools. They say they're doing the exact same as last year, and that means preteens and teens do not have to have an adult with them, but it is still recommended.
We don't stand at the door to enforce these things.
The Oregon Health Authority says the state of limbo is over, or is it? After receiving overwhelmingly negative feedback from kids and parents, they will reverse course on a year-long statewide rule that required children under 14 to be accompanied by an adult 18 or over at all public pool open swims.
The new temporary rule that we're going to adopt will say that OHA recommends that children under 14 be accompanied by a responsible adult.
The key word, recommends. Since April, the state has required an adult to be present, even with lifeguards on duty. Many kids and parents rejected the idea.
I think I'm old enough because, I know how to swim and I'm a teenager.
And I think you would just need an older brother that's at least 12 and older, 15.
They should be able to let the kids go and have distance, I feel like.
Especially because they do have lifeguards. As a parent, that makes me feel safer to know that there is somebody to be there.
A lot of it was that, I started going to the pool when I was 10 years old with my popsicle money and my kid can swim.
Parents also complained they were never asked for input about the restrictive rule.
That is something that in hindsight would best have been pulled out and had a broader group that included families who were going to be affected by this.
Now the Oregon Health Authority says it will go back to the drawing board in fall to get more feedback from parents, Parks and Rec, lifeguards, and even pool makers, and take a deep dive on this particular rule.
Our main thing is we hope that people are safe and that we don't have any issues that arise, period.
And OHA says the best idea is to check in with your individual Parks and Recs department or local pool to find out what their adult supervision rules are. Now, we also heard from Clackamas County. They said just like Portland, they're sticking with the same rules as last summer, and they're following those OHA recommendations, not requirements, to have adult supervision for older children. You don't have to bring an adult, basically, if you're a preteen or a teen. Back to you.
All right, Libby Dowsett live in Selwood this evening. Thanks, Libby.
In your headlines this afternoon, Portland police are asking for help finding a missing woman they believe could be in danger. This is 84-year-old Geraldine Jackson, who police say was last seen near the 4D recovery offices off Division Street in southeast Portland. Detectives and family members are worried about her health for several reasons, including today's extreme heat. She's described as white, around 4'10", with blue eyes, black and gray hair as well. She was last seen wearing a pink t-shirt, black leggings, and white Reebok sneakers. Anyone with information should call 911.
In Lincoln County, state police are asking for help finding the person they say shot and killed a river otter. They believe someone shot the otter at Thistle Pond sometime between April 26th and May 3rd. The Oregon Hunters Association now offering a $200 reward for information that leads to a citation or an arrest.
To St. Helens now, where officials say the city administrator is presumed dead after accidentally falling from the city docks into the Columbia River over the weekend. In a release, the city said John Walsh fell into the water around 10:30 Saturday night. Search crews couldn't find him Saturday or Sunday, and they now say it is a recovery mission. The St. Helens City Council held an emergency meeting and appointed the city's finance director as interim city administrator for the next 2 weeks.
Developing this evening, district attorneys across the Portland Metro are sounding the alarm about Oregon's mental health system.
And they're saying that a federal judge's order makes it impossible to prosecute some defendants. Kyle Leboshi is in the newsroom with the details. Kyle, walk us through what they want.
Well, the 3 district attorneys are calling on the governor and other state leaders to intervene in a federal lawsuit that dictates how the state hospital operates, rather than continuing to take no position.
District attorneys from Multnomah, Washington, and Clackamas counties argue Oregon's mental health system is broken, and they're calling on state leaders, including Oregon's governor, to help fix it.
There's a lot of discussion about somebody ought to do something, and the challenge is no one's doing anything.
As evidence of a failed system, prosecutors point to the man arrested for a fire that damaged Portland City Councilor Candace Avalos' home and car in November 2025. Vashon Locust was charged with 5 counts.
That case resulted in a dismissal because the individual was unable to aid and assist, and there was no availability to send him to the hospital.
A federal court has long ordered Oregon to quickly move defendants deemed mentally unfit to stand trial to the state hospital, rather than leave them waiting in jail. The state repeatedly fell short, so on June 1st, a judge restricted which defendants the hospital must accept. Now, prosecutors say some defendants who can't stand trial simply have nowhere to go.
There's no other way to describe it other than decriminalization. Effectively, that is what the federal court is doing by limiting who may go and how long they may stay.
The prosecutors are also asking the state to follow through on its own recommendation for nearly 500 more psychiatric hospital beds and expanded access to mental health treatment in Oregon.
We have a lot of folks that are out on the streets that are floridly mentally ill, and we are unable to appropriately treat them and care for them.
In a statement, the Oregon Health Authority and state hospitals say the state is making progress, pointing to a significant expansion of community mental health beds as a long-term path toward getting defendants the treatment they need faster.
Yeah, you could hear the frustration in their voices and the concern. Kyle Leboshi reporting.